Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you know, you're watching Life with a YDK. So hi guys, welcome back. For anyone that is new to my channel, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you know where to go. Down in the link below, subscribe, like, share, comment, all of that jazz. So today I decided I wanted to share with you guys some of my 3 favorite destinations and also my least favorite destinations and why and what you can do as well in these places. So I'm not gonna tell you guys to not go to my least favorite destinations, but I do say they were not on my top list. And I'll explain to you guys as well why they were not on that top list. So my first destination would have to be, let me think, Barcelona, Spain. I have been there twice. I am in love with that place. I haven't seen any other part of Spain yet, so I can't say that another part would have my heart. But Barcelona, every time I went back, I was so in love, even more than the first time. And no matter what season, because I went there in summer and I went there also nearly around Christmas, I still loved it. There was nothing that changed. I will forever go back to that place. And I did a lot of stuff. Like, first time I went there was before I was like a travel guru geek. It was around 2014, and that was my first alone trip. I went with a friend, but it was the first time I actually planned something on my own without my parents. It was a great place. So if I have to tell you guys some things that you can do over there, you can take like a tour with a tuk-tuk or with those guys that are on the bikes. I did that. I met a very nice tour guide that I'm still in contact with today. He took me all over Barcelona. He explained everything to me, so I kind of felt like I was kind of part of the culture because I got to see the least beautiful parts and like the most beautiful parts. I got to see everything. I got to hear a little bit of the story, the history, and it's from a local itself. I was in love with it. So that is something that you can do that I would for sure recommend. Another thing that I did was I took a cooking class, and that was amazing. I know how to cook, but I do love learning something from the destination where I go, and I learned a little bit of how to make their way of sangria because I used to make it a different way when I was working hospitality, but I learned how to make it their way and it was amazing. I learned how to make tapas and it was amazing. That was one of the best things that I did. And I also learned how to make espadrilles. That was also a very nice activity to do. And all of these activities, I came across them by going on Airbnb experiences. Like, I never thought that Airbnb experiences had so much things that you can search from. So I gave it a try for Barcelona for the first time and I was pleased. I had a ball with everything I did. So I do recommend if you guys go to do that as well. I stayed in a very small hotel, very nice one. It was beautiful. It was cozy for just me because that was my solo trip, so it was very cozy, perfect. And I traveled like basically only with the metro, and I had my metro card. It was easy. I can say that everyone can go there and not get lost. It was perfectly fine. I walked most places. Only places that I was sort of time constrained, I took the metro, and I not even once did I got lost. And it was weird because I did not forget which metro to take to get to where, even though I traveled after 5 years back to Barcelona. That was so crazy, but it really struck a place in my heart, and I really want to go back. So that is my number one pick. So my second destination would have to be Portugal. I cannot pinpoint a particular city in Portugal because I did a road trip when I went there. It was a 1 week road trip with two of my girlfriends, and it was amazing. I did so much. I experienced many different cultures and many different sides of Portugal because we visited like around 5 to 6 different cities in only a week. It was a very high speed travel, but it was amazing. So I went to Porto. We landed in Porto actually, and we rented a car. We went to Douro Valley. Yeah, we went to Douro Valley where we had wine. We saw how the process was done. We saw vineyards. We stayed there for the whole day. It was amazing. We also spent the day in Porto. It was more like half a day, but it was amazing as well. Porto was good. We had fun. We saw the amazing side of it. We went to Lisbon. Lisbon wasn't my favorite. So that would be like on the lower level of the whole trip. But I would say that Porto was the number two. Like Douro Valley was for me number one because I'm a wine lover. But then we have Porto. We went then to Lisbon. We went to Sintra. Sintra was also amazingly beautiful. I hope that we had more time to spend there because we did not see everything. But the ones that we saw, we were like amazed. We were in awe. And I would say like if you have a whole day to spend at Sintra, do that because it's so worth it. We also went to Setúbal because that is where we were staying in the Airbnb. We did not see much of Setúbal, but we did experience it a little bit, and that was also very nice to experience a different city that isn't very popular by everyone. So that was also very good. And we went to Algarve in the end. So from there we grabbed the plane and we got back to Amsterdam, and that is where everybody knows you go for the beach and you go for the tours, you go to see some dolphins. It was a very good experience to actually see all of that. So we had like the quiet side. We saw one part of them that was actually making and producing wines, and then we went to the most like known city, Lisbon. We went to Sintra, that is more about castles and many different types of castles, because you have like the old ones that are decaying, you have the very colorful ones, and then you have the neutral ones and modern. It was so nice to experience so many different things in just 1 week. That was actually a very, very good road trip. I would put them in the description box below, like how much it cost for that trip, because that trip was the cheapest ever, and how I planned it and everything. I will leave all of that in the description box below. But wow, I have to say it was one of the most amazing trips that I have experienced. Seriously. If I have to decide for destination number 3, that would have to be... This is a very difficult one because there are a lot of destinations that were like on my top, and like I have already had 2 Europe destinations, and that would be it for now because I don't have any more Europe destinations that were on my top list. But I do want to have something that if you guys go there, that you would actually feel how I felt. And I think if I have to go back and think, it would have to be, I think Guadalupe, Colombia. I think that would be a good option. Um, yeah, Guadalupe, Colombia, because I went there last year. That was my last trip before the whole corona broke out and I had to get back home. But it was a beautiful, beautiful town. It's not even a city, it's a town right outside of Medellin. It's very colorful. The people are all super nice there, and you experience like actually everything. So you experience the luxury, but you also experience like the normal standard life where people actually work to go by, and how the community is very close. It was a town that most tourists do wanted to visit, but you still don't get that it's very touristy. So that is something that I really, really loved. And I was talking to a bunch of people that lived there and how they gone by with everything, and they said like for them tourists was not an important thing. It was more for themselves. So you do have certain areas that are more for artesanias, how they call it, so souvenirs and stuff like that. But when you check the restaurants, it's more based on local, their own local cuisine, and it was amazing. It was really good, and I stayed in a very luxury hotel in that area because I wanted to experience like that side as well. And I can say that even there, the staff, everybody there was so nice that I really want to go back. I really want to experience everything else because I didn't get to do everything because at that point their water was low because they don't have actually like an ocean surrounded by them. They have more like a dam, and they were pumping water to use in mainland. So the water over there was really low, so a lot of aquatics, more like the water activities you couldn't be doing at that point in given time. So there was no surfboarding or wakeboarding and stuff like that, and I wanted to try those out as well. So I would for sure go back. But the one thing that I did do was go climb up the Piedra de Peñol. That was like the highest rock with, I think it was 174 steps. That was also very amazing to see like the whole town from above. It's so different, so good. I I would say just experience it for yourself. Just go for yourself, and I think you will not be disappointed at all by this town. Like it was amazing. Like for sure. Sometimes I have to say like the smallest towns are the best, and this proved it. Like seriously. Like I've noticed that most of you aren't subscribed yet. Like why? Like really why? I'm waiting for you to hit that red button. Like hit it. Just hit it. I'll wait. I'll pause and wait. Still waiting. Still waiting. Just hit that button and notification bell, because every week on Saturday, unless there's something, but every week on Saturday I'll have a video just for you guys on something of my travels or my lifestyle or on budgeting. So now I'm gonna share with you guys my least favorites so far, and weirdly enough all three of them are in Europe. So I'm gonna start off with the first one, and I'm gonna explain as well why it was my least favorite and what I did. And you guys maybe will understand, maybe won't, but so you guys know. So the first one would have to be Brussels. I was disappointed in Brussels. I was not happy. I went there 2 times actually. The second time was amazing. But then again, if it has to be attached to a particular time of the year, then is it worth it? not for me. So I went to Brussels actually because I just thought, okay, it's close by to the Netherlands. I just came in the Netherlands. Why not? It's like an hour away driving. So I went there and I was so disappointed. I thought there was more of a culture to it, but then I felt like I entered a smaller version of the Netherlands. I don't know. I didn't like it. Um, I went to the statue of Monica Piss. It was like yay tiny. Maybe a little bit bigger, but it was yay tiny. And everybody was like fighting to go in front to see the whole statue. Where I'm like, okay, you can stand like 5 feet away and still see it. It's like too small. Like, why? And when you go to the main plaza, it was so crowded, like so crowded, and people with tour guides were not giving other people a chance to actually experience like the whole town. So I was like, well, okay, whatever. I walked around. I tried to experience everything a little bit, but it wasn't my thing. And in the end, I stayed there a whole day to give it like a whole chance. From the morning, I think we arrived there around 9 o'clock, and then we left around 6. But it wasn't my thing. I went back in December though for Christmas. A whole different experience. It was amazing. But then again, for me, was it like, okay, then the only reason I would go back is for Christmas, because Christmas was in a great experience. But I should be able to really love the place even though it's not based on a particular season. And that's why it's for me on the top 1 list, because I really did not like it at all. So the next place would have to be Paris. Paris was the second destination in my year that I started traveling, and it was a big disappointment. I don't want to say that for all my Parisian friends that do watch me, but I don't want to go back. I'm gonna give it a second chance. I will, but it was not what I hoped it would be. Like the Eiffel Tower, when I got there, I was like super excited, like, oh my gosh, finally I'm gonna see the Eiffel Tower. And then I was like, oh, that's it. Okay, I guess not. It did not hype me up as much as when they hype it up in films and people see it and they're like, oh my god, oh my god. Maybe it's because I didn't go with my partner, or I didn't have like a romantic trip. I don't know, but Paris was not my top. I took 4 days. Yeah, I was there 4 days. I did Montmartre. I stuck in Paris. We went to the opera. We actually like walked around. We went to Notre Dame. What else did I do? It was actually a lot of walking. I just wanted to see everything I could. So we did most of the things that you should be doing and more, but I still didn't get that feeling that, oh my gosh, Paris, I'm here, I want to be here, I don't want to leave. Until this day, even thinking about it, I still don't feel like I want to go back. I'm gonna give it a chance because I do have some friends over there that say that, no, you have to come back, you have to experience it a different way, we'll show you. But on my own, I did not like it. Maybe because it was my first trip in Europe alone as well. Yeah, and alone. That I did not plan it as well. But I don't really see the need to go back. Sorry if you guys love it, but it was not my favorite. So the third one Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna kill me in the comments for this, but it was Venice. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just cut to it. It was Venice. I went there in that same year that I went to Paris. I went to Venice I think like 6 months after. I went for my birthday with my best friend, and we booked it. We were happy. We were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna experience Venice. And then we arrived. We were still happy. Then the first day came by. We were in Venice. And in the evening we were like, okay, we want to go home. And that was on my birthday. So, I don't know. We thought that we saw everything in a day. It wasn't that much. And everything was so expensive. Like, we did that gondola ride, but it was like 80 euros. And we were like, okay, for what? For 20 minutes? Really? We actually ended up paying for it because we really wanted to experience it and see what it's about. But it wasn't really worth it. Well, the experience was okay, but whatever. And we went to Murano, Burano, and I think the other one was called Torcello. We went to those 3 islands. It was nice. We were more interested in Murano. Like, Murano was actually our favorite part of the whole trip. But other than that, we weren't actually very pleased with the whole trip. We just made the best out of it from what we wanted to make. I did not make a lot of videos, so you guys will only see pictures passing by throughout this video about Venice. But we actually can say that, okay, we saw it, we won't be going back. We were both telling the same thing. After the whole trip, we reflected and we said like, okay, nah, we won't be going back. And I went with the same girl and with another friend of mine to Portugal, and we had a whole different experience and also a whole different attitude when we finished the whole trip of Portugal. We were like, yes, we're going back. We want to do it. And we did not have this with Venice. So, unfortunately, I guess those hyped up, overrated cities are actually overrated. For me, I was not a fan of them, like, at all. Sorry. So those were my 3 favorites and least favorite destinations that I have been to so far. I hope you guys actually have some things that you can get out of it. I will leave all of my blog posts on all of these destinations in the comment down below, because I was blogging all throughout my trips throughout those years. So I have a bunch of posts on all these destinations, so you can read through them and gain some information, either for cost wise or what you can do, if I missed anything. But you can have them all in the description box below, and I hope you guys actually love this video. If there is anything that you want to know, anything that you want to see from me, or anything you want me to talk about, just leave them in the comment down below, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I will see you guys next week in another video, and next week is my vacation, so I'm gonna start filming a couple of amazing videos for you guys in that vacation as well, so stay tuned for those as well. So I see you guys next week, and don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.